Good morning, everyone. It is October 27th, 2020. We will call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My mask got caught in my mouth, if I kind of stumbled over some words here. Oh my. Okay. Well, thank you for everyone here in person and joining us remotely. We have Commissioner DeLayden is remote, and Commissioner Burrell has an excused absence. He had surgery, so he's recovering, and we wish him well. Right. The minutes.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the October 20th meeting minutes as presented.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Vetch.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Potter. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about the roll call vote. Okay. You can say it again, Mark.
Aye.
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 Okay.
We're out of
Minutes are
practice on
approved.
that.
Yeah. I quickly forget. So, review and approval of the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
All right. Motion made by
Second.
Commissioner Vetch, second by Commissioner Potter. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Roll
Roll
call.
call vote. Mark?
Aye.
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 The agenda is approved. Consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like removed for further discussion?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right.
I'll second it.
Okay, give it to Mark.
Motion made by Commissioner Potter, seconded by Commissioner DeLayden. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Mark?
Aye.
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 The consent agenda is approved. Moving on, there are no timed items.
I'll make a motion to approve the timed items.
So we move on to the administration, the Support for Connectability Minnesota Phase 2 of RTCC plan. Administrator Kelly, would you like to?
Yeah, I can speak to this at a high level. I've been trying to gather a little more information regarding this. These rural transportation coordinating councils. I know Gary Ludwig from Trailblazer had let us know that there may be some information coming from this. So had received an email, and I believe one was also directed at the commissioners from Connectability asking, they are hoping to submit a proposal to serve as this RTCC in our area, and was hoping for a letter of support or a resolution of support prior to the end of the month. So the timing was a little quick. Moved it forward on that. So,
And it was formerly United Cerebral Palsy, and then they changed it to open it up to any disability of any age anywhere in Minnesota. I actually happened to hear a presentation on this from I'm missing her name, Sherry Wagner. Yep. And they just do some real amazing things. I mean, helping people with even things like they maybe have been born blind, but you know they can have these programs and these machines and that kind of thing that actually helps them read. So there's just a lot of wonderful things that they do, and certainly we all know that transportation is one of the biggest barriers for people that don't have it, and so it's not no financial obligation for us. It's just essentially, you know, opening this up for that. So.
Hey, Madam Chair, I guess because I'm still trying to understand on it, because I know this is still they're trying to carry the gauntlet on this RTCC thing where they just don't have local buy-in on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, the Connectability Minnesota, all about it. I guess I'm just still trying to figure out that connection between that and the RTCCs. And
Yeah.
then my other question with it is, they're just asking for a letter of support for it at this point, Administrator Kelly? They're not looking for any level of commitment.
No,
Just looking for a letter of support for their application to serve in this role. As I understood it, no financial support at this time, so.
and hopefully, I mean, they can keep carrying it forward, but at this point, it's in the early stages.
And I guess, Madam Chair, I could support that, just, I'll give MnDOT our rural transit an opportunity to see if they can find one avenue that they can maybe move this forward with, and maybe this could be it, so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes they just have to explore these different options before they find something that's gonna really work for them, so.
And Madam Chair,
Commissioner, yes?
thank you,
Carter.
Madam Chair. In this particular item, because we're still in our infancy and in our transit system here, you kind of always wonder how deep the water is before you dive in. And what does this really mean? But a letter of support is not going to encumber, obligate us at all.
No.
It definitely is a needed service somewhere. It's just a matter of which pool of money it comes out of. And the fear is sometimes you say yes to these things, and all of a sudden now it becomes your obligation, and you don't know how. Oh, it's our obligation now. We need $10 million a year.
Right.
I mean, you're kind of leery on things like that. I try to err on the side of caution this, but a letter of support I don't see where that would hurt the county at all or for their position.
And it seems like they are in very favorable light with MnDOT, so hopefully that bodes well for them, and they're able to get the funding through MnDOT too to help that. But yeah, I mean, they're really a go-getter organization, so I think I have hope for them being able to do this.
So, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to support a letter of, to put together a letter of support for Connectability Minnesota Phase 2 of RTCC plan.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Vetch. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Potter. Commissioner DeLyden, did you have any questions or anything that you'd like to add about this?
No, I don't know enough about it, but I see Jamie's on here, and my guess is that she would have a little bit more information for all of us to hear.
Thank you, Commissioner DeLyden. Yes, I just jumped on to see this topic. I mean, I believe when we do needs analysis and gaps analysis in the county, I would say transportation figures highly in it. And as this is, I think, pretty a neutral situation with the county, I would certainly supporting them bringing this forward. It's something that we're still hearing about. We don't hear a lot about the RTCC movement, at the moment, but I would like to see it get some traction down the road.
Thank you, Jamie.
Oh, get it traction and transportation.
Covered.
Don't quit your day job, Jamie.
Okay.
You're never gonna make it as a comedian.
All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Commissioner DeLyden?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes to send that letter of support.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the committee minutes from 10:20. Commissioner Vetch, if you'd take those, please.
So, Madam Chair, the county board, along with a number of other people, met on October 20th to review CARES Act grant funding allocations, mostly surrounding around the Wright County Economic Development Partnerships and the funds that would be allocated for small businesses and nonprofits. Jolene Foss, the Executive Director of Wright County Economic Development Partnership, brought forward information regarding the 171 small business applications along with 40 nonprofit applications. She detailed that 97 of the 171 small businesses have already been pre-approved through their review committee, and went with more information that if we were going to approve all those that would be able to meet the pending status, there would be additional funds that would be needed. So the shortfall for the business applications, based on the ones that were pending, would leave us short of in the neighborhood of around $110,000 to $120,000. Then there was also further discussion on the nonprofits, and there would also be, again, if we approved all the nonprofits based on their recommendations, there would be an additional shortfall. So looking for discussion whether the board was interested in moving other funds CARES funds from other buckets to fully fund those that requested it. The discussion surrounded around the county affiliates and how a number of the funds there have not been fully utilized. It was board's decision or recommendation at that time to move the additional request of $565,000 and some odd change from the county affiliates and transfer it into the Wright County EDP to be able to fully fund the request by the businesses and nonprofits. That would be one of the recommendations, and then the other discussion was to add a CARES Act update agenda to the November 3rd Committee of the Whole and the November 10th County Board Workshop to have continued discussions as more of the deadlines are coming forth this week. With that, Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes and the recommendations.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Vetch. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Delyden. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Commissioner Delyden.
Aye.
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 Okay. The minutes and recommendations are approved.
Okay, and with those additional funds, we'll work on getting those payments out as soon as we possibly can, so.
So, Madam Chair, so I'm guessing then that you'll have the, next week on the consent agenda, you'll actually have the expenditure approved like we have for all the other CARES Acts, and then basically after next Tuesday, she should be able to fully execute the funds.
That's the hope. I'd worked with Kreiser as well. We'll have a revision to the previous contract with the partnership for that additional $50,000 that was discussed at the other meeting as well. So just kind of a housekeeping issue with that.
All right. Perfect. All right.
And
And
moving on to, were we also going to set something, or just that it will be moved forward for the county board workshop?
Madam Chair, since we are kind of talking about CARES Act, this is somewhat pertinent to it. My question was, for clarification, is applicants for the schools or any of them that have submitted information but have information that is not complete, and it goes past the deadline on October 30th, is their request dead? Or is it as long as they've made efforts to get the information in? That was just because there's some questions out there, and I just want a clarification. It's maybe Heather can step up and answer that.
Go ahead,
Heather, would
if you want.
You could go right to the podium, and then you'll be both on camera and also, they'll be able to hear you.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning.
So we have received, yes, we will take requests after if they gave us some notification that they are going to submit for CARES. We'll make it go through. As of this morning, we got STMAs and Monticello's, and they submitted their second request. We should be receiving it by Friday. Buffalo also did. They're gathering their spreadsheets, so all the schools should have submitted by this week.
Okay, so they're, as long as they've gotten, they're in that direction. So if they're missing some receipts and things like that, it's not.
No, we just needed to give them a kind of a deadline, but yes, we're gonna give them leeway.
Okay.
And work through those kind of details.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Appreciate
figured that, yeah.
I know it's a lot to go through,
Yes.
everyone. So we appreciate that, for sure. Okay, advisory, committee advisory board updates. Commissioner Delyden, would you like to start?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did any of you have a chance to look at that omni ballot or whatever it's called for?
I did.
I don't know your guys' feeling, but my feelings is that screen seems kind of small for those that need additional help. I know you can expand it, but to me, it seems like that's just more work. I mean, it should be a bigger screen to start out with, but that's just my opinion on it. So just wanted to feel that or put that out there. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot, other than I just want to make a statement that there's been a lot of information out there regarding all the buildings the county board has been spending money on. Some of it out there is confused. MnDOT, with Trailblazer Transit, that building is paid for by MnDOT. It's not really on the county dime. The court building, there really wasn't a whole lot of choice on that one. If we didn't do something, the 10th district was going to do something, and that was going to be a lot more expensive. So I just want to get that information out there, that it's not what some
Yeah.
Lost him.
You froze, Commissioner Delyden, so,
people are. What, didn't you hear me?
well,
Yeah, you froze.
You froze the last couple of sentences, I think.
Oh, regarding the buildings?
Right, the last, you said that you wanted to get that out there, and then you kind of froze.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted that information out there. As far as I'm concerned, it's more of the truth than what some things are out there right now, so. Just wanted to let the public know that some of it we really had no choice to do.
Yeah, thank you. And as we were going through all of this process for 6 or 7 years, you know, we felt like we were getting as much information as we could out there, but not everyone heard it or tuned into it until they see the buildings go up, and then they start wondering what's going on. So,
And Madam Chair,
yeah,
to expand on that, you know, we saw the issue, we did our homework and gathered the facts, and we made our decision based on the options presented before us. And in some cases, they were good options, sometimes they were not so good options, but either way, we had to address the issues.
yeah.
And the thing with the Trailblazer building, that's a pass-through that MnDOT pays all that. I mean, so that one is kind of a moot to say, oh, we overbuilt. Well, look at the new buses we got. It's gonna fill that place right up. It's gonna be full already.
Right. Yep, it's good to clarify this stuff for
But
everyone.
for the people that are out there being told by certain individuals that we just on a whim did this, that didn't happen. There were studies done, there were meetings, and there were options weighed, discussed at this, and some of it was in the newspaper also, and that, and we made a decision based on what was best for Wright County moving forward.
And we did have a number of public meetings and hearings, and so, yeah, hopefully when the dust settles and we're all on one campus and we're able to keep our tax rate, you know,
reasonable as
pretty level, and, you know, things, emotions will settle down, and we'll hopefully
Yeah.
everyone will be happy with that. Maybe not everyone, but the majority
Madam
of
Chair.
people.
Madam Chair, hey, one quick question. Has the nuclear power plant, I know that they're looking at, well, either the one in Monticello or the one at Prairie Island is looking at converting to hydrogen, I think I've been reading about. Do we know anything on how Monticello plant, is they're still planning on asking for continuance and that sort of stuff? Has anybody heard?
Commissioner Vetch?
Commissioner Dahlheim, they will be submitting their extension to the PUC within I think it's this next year or the following year. Then basically the PUC has 1 year to basically, 1 to 2 years, I believe it is, to basically make a recommendation. And then at that point, once they make the recommendation, if it is to go forward, as long as the legislator doesn't take any action at all, then they'll get their extension. Then at that point, they'll go to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission in DC for kind of a similar process. So everything's still moving forward that they intend to go for their extension.
Thank you.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner Delyden?
No, it's just that when we get to Administrator Kelly, to make sure he uses his outside voice, he's kind of hard to hear.
Okay.
Wimpy, wimpy.
Just tell him to pretend I'm one of his kids.
All right, Commissioner Vetch.
So last week on Thursday, thanks for Commissioner Dahlheim joined us as well for our CMRP workshop. We had FHWA and MnDOT that present on what is entailed in getting a large project such as a river crossing and what the outlook looks like for that. At least from a MnDOT and a federal funding perspective, it looks very bleak. Really, the only way that it would happen sooner rather than later, it would be getting some sort of special legislation or getting some sort of a build grant or included in a bonding bill, which would then force the hand of MnDOT to move such a project. So once again, like most things, it becomes very political. So very good information. They really kind of showed on how things are trending, especially now with transportation funding depleting even further with the low gas prices and the amount of people that are just not using gas and with all the electric cars. So just funds available to maintain the roads is becoming very limited. So new projects are going to become even more limited. So
Change the formulas.
yes, and then just kind of also walking us through like the four big steps that it takes to be able to do a regional river crossing. Quite costly, wouldn't you say, Commissioner Dahlin? It was in the millions just in the research aspect of it to bring it forward. So
Yeah, no, I'm still waiting for my flying cars though. But from what I listened to them, I'll be long dead before that bridge ever gets built. Unless, like you say, there's something special that happens.
but very good information. It definitely helps the group get a little bit of perspective on where we should be going. Then last night I had a very good meeting with the members of Ditch 33, looking at possible solutions. Don't think we have anything that's going to stick quite yet, but we have some things that we're going to investigate further. So hopefully to solve some of these water management issues before the spring comes and the water melts.
Yeah, well,
No, and who was it from Federal Highway that,
Philip, I'm not going to remember his last name. It's Philip something. Yeah. Mark might remember. Was it Forrest or Philip?
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You sure it wasn't Serge Phillips from MnDOT?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it was an FHWA
It was
person.
FHWA. Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
all right. Well, Commissioner Potter and I attended remotely, and Administrator Kelly, the District 5 Association Minnesota Counties meeting yesterday. And one thing I'd like to, we had a presentation on Minnesota broadband, and you know how they show the dots around the state, and even in the same, it can be in the same county, but one area will have good service, another one doesn't, and it's just all over the board. So they've been doing this research on it's bridging divides updates, and they had talked about a statewide speed test, and they asked everyone to participate in that. And so it's www.mnruralbroadbandcoalition.com // speed test. So I'd encourage everyone to go on that and take that test so we can do some, you know, really get the impetus going to finally get this addressed at the state level and some legislative changes made. So they've done 32,678 speed tests across the state. It launched on August 3rd, and they're, you know, getting the results together so they can take it to the legislature.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, Commissioner
one
Potter.
of the things, the 8 years I've been on here with that broadband is a subcommittee of the transportation one there. One of the problems they've had is that, say, we all live in the same neighborhood. You get connectivity and I don't. The fact that you got it, they said the whole block's got it.
Right.
And that's not the facts.
No.
And that's what the legislature, you know, CenturyLink and the rest say, oh, yeah, we got it everywhere. And no, they don't. So that's why they go forward with this, is making each individual address, you can see where pockets are, because that's where they're popping up, because you might have it, I don't, but yet we're not that far away from each other, but they're just assuming everybody's got it, one person's got it, and that's the misconception that's out there, and the legislature needs to see those numbers for them to act, and hopefully they'll, now with the school distant learning and everything else, they're seeing such glaring holes there, they might actually take action on this.
Yep, there's definitely a bigger push with all the remote school attendance nowadays. And we also had the legislative priorities and did some, they sent out a survey monkey to vote on those. So if you want to take a look at those, and anything else that you'd like to add, Commissioner Potter? It was,
No, that's just, it's important for people to take this test if we want results.
all right. Commissioner Potter, anything else that you'd like to, aside from AMC?
It was good. We had pretty good representation there. Good information, but it's really tough on these remote
It is.
Zoom type things to get anything going. I mean,
Not quite the same.
legislature took action. They actually got a bonding bill. And some people liked it, some people didn't. But the elephant in the room is the next 2 years, the deficit that they're looking at.
Yeah.
And prepare
Yeah.
for some radical changes, because that's,
That,
when they're talking that
Well-
kind of money,
yeah, 2.7 billion for 2021 and 4.7 billion for 2022, 23, so.
because next year being a budget year
I mean,
with
we
that
had-
projection sitting in front of you, that's gonna be the.
Yeah, it's pretty scary because we had a surplus and we pretty much all knew that was gonna be absorbed somehow, but now we're in the billions of deficit.
And Madam Chair, that's the problem when they have these projected budget surplus. They're so far out there from the reality of the reconciliation that reporting is just, it's nonsense, because it has nothing to do with anything. You gotta wait until it's reconciled before you know
Right.
exactly what you can say we forecast $10 billion surplus.
Right.
By the time you reconcile everything, oh, we only got a $200,000 surplus. Why do you get people thinking there's all, because that's just incentive to, let's just use this for something, that the money's that's not there.
Yep.
And that's, unfortunately, that's how that game is played.
All right,
You're all done then?
huh?
This is a pretty short one for you.
Oh, I thought, I was moving on to you.
You usually got a lot of things to talk about.
Oh, yeah, no. There's a lot of things I could talk about, but.
Okay, this last week, we had I-94 Coalition. We had a meeting with Nick Lunneborg, from Emmer's office, about federal highway issues and build grant and other infra and different grants available to us to try to get that completion for not only the Albertville to Monticello, but the more money for the 610 connection. The legislature approved, what, 13 or 14 million towards that, which gets them close to that magic number where it can move forward to finish that 610 interchange out. But like everybody else, the money's a little tight unless the federal do something with the Highway Trust Fund and allocate more money there. Things like that bridge, that are gonna be on hold. So hopefully they're hearing enough at the federal level to actually do something. I mean, they know the gas tax is not the silver bullet, but that's the only thing they have right now. And they don't have any other options going forward. We already have a very large federal deficit, so adding to that is not realistic. So more to come on that one. And next thing was a Safe Schools with STMA. Again, they're going through the things of mental health. Worry about that. The distance learning, because of the hybrid models that they're going to, they're concerned because some kids are doing okay, some aren't.
Yep.
And they're worried about the COVID numbers going up, and that might change how they do some things, but it appears that the really young ones are doing just fine. It's when they get a little older that they have any issues with, but try to make sure that they stay on top of that. And this is like, say, you're like building the airplane while you're flying it. It's really tough for them to do, and it's tough for parents and everything else. And I hate to see the kids lose out on a year of education, because I think it's just too important for them to get this going forward, because we as a country have been lagging on our educational support on many different fronts. The other item was on the 23rd, Friday, was the Wright County Economic Development Partnership Board of Directors meeting. Anita Smythe from the Administrative City of Clearwater gave us a little update what was going on there. It's kind of nice. She was a administrator in Hanover, and then she was at Cokato. Now she's at Clearwater, and some of the challenges of what they're doing there, and it's a unique setup in that town. Some of the things that are going on are the big promotion of the day was a special guest from Greater MSP, Peter Frosch, Amanda Taylor, and Joel Atkinson. Were from Greater MSP about the recovery and barometer tracking, general business data. Interesting. I mean, I've been to a few of those to know what their dashboard and all these things are, and because it's the annual time they send the invoice for that. And I still believe this is a long game with Greater MSP that, you know, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And trying to get it where, at the point where, you know, you get into something you want instant gratification, doesn't happen that way. When businesses inquire, they can only send them out to people that can actually provide what they're looking for. So what I'm looking for is like, okay, when a business comes in, you don't have to have the exact business, but hypothetical business comes in, business A comes in, they're looking for upload, download, hospitals, this, that. Okay, they picked another place besides Wright County. What is it that we were lacking to get that one without having to disclose what business it was? So you don't have these other games that get played there, but so it helps educate us on what the businesses are looking for and what we need to provide if we choose to go after such businesses. And I think they have the wherewithal to do that. And I don't think it's too much of an ask. With that organization, it's just a matter of just keeping at it. Eventually, it's going to come to fruition. We've got, like I say, we got 94, 55, and 12 corridors that are, to me, ripe for a lot of business activity. We just got to know what the businesses are looking for so we can make sure we provide what it is that they're looking for if we want them here. As a tax-based balance, I keep expounding on that until you're all pretty much blue in the face and sick, but that's ticket. You got to have that balance. I mean, we're mostly a bedroom community county. We can change that. We have the ability to change that, and I think we just need to know what it is we got to do and what the cost of doing that. Like I say, and it's a great group of people there, and we got the other thing is Commissioner Betch, who should be ready to come on first of the year.
For the EDP, yes. I was like, getting ready to come on, I was thinking, yeah.
It'll be good.
If I get the committee assignment, I'm hoping, I gotta get through next Tuesday first.
Yeah, that's what, let's not make assumptions. I gotta do the same thing, you know. You never know, but if that so turns out that way, your business experience, and that will be great to have on there. I mean, because you've got that perspective from that part of it, actually having to deal with the nuts and bolts of what's going on.
I'm hoping to be able to join the group, so.
Okay, and after that, that's it with Commissioner Husum on the union negotiation with the healthcare. Fairly simple. We got good numbers, and if you listened yesterday on, a couple of them actually said they had 10% increases in there.
And we were just
In their insurance, so we had what, a 3.4, 3 point
Yep.
something, right? So we did pretty good there.
We did very well, yep.
And
No
I think
increases.
that's enough for that.
All right, Administrator Kelly.
Well, you guys did a good job again of covering most of the topics I was going to talk about, so make it short for me, just following up with the health insurance. Our open enrollment will be November 9th, so look for that coming forward. We will be negotiating with the remaining 3 union groups this Friday, so looking forward to that.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right, and also, just if anyone in the public is interested, we have a group in the county that is the emerging leaders, that they're doing a collection of baking supplies and non-perishable food for Wright County area food shelves. There's donation bins here at the Government Center, the Justice Center, the Law Enforcement Center, and the Human Services Center. So there could be baking mixes, frosting, spices, seasonings, candy melts, and cookie cutters. So if anyone has anything to donate, October 26th through November 23rd. With that, I think that is all. If there's nothing else to come before the board, we are adjourned at 9:35. Thank you.